Hello and welcome to the Burning Disco. I'm Caleb Clark, bringing you the worst in hip-hop, whether albums generally considered bad, or just albums I didn't personally like. Now, today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest groups in the 2000s, the Black Eyed Peas. If you don't know who they were, you probably weren't alive during the 2000s, or weren't just listening to music in general, I guess, but anyway, they were technically are, but pretty much were a hip-hop slash pop slash EDM quartet known for having a lot of hits. A lot of songs got big from the Black Eyed Peas. They're composed of four members: will.i.am, who's the main producer, Fergie, the singer, and then Apple the App and Taboo, who no one remembers, basically, except as those other two guys in the Black Eyed Peas. Now, let's talk about their music. How does it work? So, first of all, let's start with the will.i.am, Apple the App, and Taboo, sort of the rappers of the group. These guys don't really have a lot of personality on the mic. Their flows are pretty basic, and their voices are unremarkable. Like, I'm just barely able to distinguish between will.i.am and the other two guys on vocal patterns. If you're wondering how, it's because the other two have a little bit of a rasp. Yeah, but they're not super unique, they're not really trying, and also a lot of times they end up putting vocal effects onto their verses, so they get easily forgotten. will.i.am, actually, he does have a little bit of an interesting flow on a couple songs, like on I'm a Bee and Ring-a-Ling-a-Ling, or however many lings are in that. He goes for sort of a stuffy, very fake patois. It's memorable, but I sense it would get annoying after a few uses, so it's a good thing that he used it sparingly. Fergie is the most memorable performer in the group. I personally can tolerate a lot of hamminess in singing, and she's pretty outrageous in her singing. She just belts a lot. Well, let me rephrase that. Her strength is in belting. However, a lot of times they have her sort of just doing more of background vocals, which is a shame because when she belts, it's a lot more memorable because she's just such a strong personality. She's just sort of in comparison to the rest of it, Fergie's a bit of a force of nature. Although when she raps, it just sounds completely obnoxious. Just gonna say it. Yeah, she probably sound like they all have about the same actual skill level as rappers, but she's probably the worst sounding of the four. Just because she always sounds like some sort of, I don't know, some sassy valley girl telling off her dad after she refused to give her the credit card at, I don't know, was Urban Outfitters, is that a thing? I don't know. As for the lyrics, pretty much every single time they speak, it's all generic topics said in a generic way. Like, their main two things are about going to parties and having fun, or going to parties and being better than you are. And with such little creativity in their lyrics and song crafting, it gets old pretty quickly. And like the stuff about going to the parties and having fun it's more tolerable just because it's more like, yeah, I'll party with the Black Eyed Peas, but when they're trying to act like they're superior to the listener, it's not very good. Their love songs, they have a couple of love songs on here, yeah. They're a bit more endearing in just how cheesy and cliched they are. And then there's another element that I'll get to in the production section, but I just find them sort of charming in a way because it's just so silly. Then a couple songs are really memorable for the lyrics for very wrong reasons. Like the song Now Generation is an attempt at relevancy, which is kind of sad considering that they were such huge musicians at the time. But yeah, they list off a bunch of social media things and accidentally make themselves a time capsule by referencing MySpace and Facebook in about the same verse. So yeah, they kind of set themselves in a little tiny bubble. Ring-a-Ling is a song about booty calls, booty calls. Yeah, it's about how girls call the Black Eyed Peas early in the morning looking for that Black Eyed Peas kachuga. Oh yeah. And it's just hilarious to me and how blunt and just completely tactless it is. And it doesn't really offend the sensibilities. I should say they still keep it pretty poppy, but it's just funny to me. Yeah, as for the production, half of it, not really half of it, but part of it is kind of nice for my taste, at least. Like songs like I Got a Feeling, Missing You, Meet Me Halfway. I think those are the main ones, but there are a few others where they go for a bit more of a spacey, slightly funky vibe, where it's a lot more accessible and danceable. I like those songs because they're just kind of fun and endearing. But when they go for the songs like I'm a Bee and Boom Boom Pow, where it's trying to be kind of dirty, and they're using all these synthesizers that just sound ugly, but still using the very poppy constructions and melodies, they sound pretty awful. Special mention of the techniques has to go to the thing in like Rock That Body and I want to say Party All the Time, where they put in they take a sample and then stretch it out so that the audio just sort of warps and sounds ear grating. Is not good. Overall, this is a pretty vapid album. Like, there's no real reason to listen to it, I don't think, once you've gotten past the singles, and by singles I mean I Got a Feeling, unless you're looking for some comedy and a little bit of nostalgia. The Black Eyed Peas don't have a ton to say or show the world. Yeah. I will say, sometimes they do have nice sentiments on songs like One Tribe and One Verse of I'm a Bee. They go for a little bit more positivity and social consciousness. Like, I appreciate that, but it's still all just so bland that it's just not very good. Overall in the ranking, right now it's going to be sitting at number 3 in between The Sugar Hill Gang by The Sugar Hill Gang and Lil Pump by Lil Pump. So, tune in next week to see what audio torture I'll put to you next. This is Caleb Clark, signing off.